Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K. Thanks so much for stopping by and spending some time with me today. And today I had the November installment of Smash That Small Paper Pad collab hosted by Deb Houck. There are a number of talented ladies participating in this collab, and I do have links for all of their channels listed below in the description box, so make sure you open it up and check them out. And again, I've been working on several paper pads at once. Most of them were Christmas paper pads, and I made a lot of progress this past month to share with you guys. And to begin with, I just wanted to show you how I finished these two cards up. I know not last month but the month before I had created the card bases, but I didn't decorate them yet, and so I just wanted to show you guys how I ended up decorating these two. I just added some flowers clusters to them, so those two are finished. And then here is everything else I completed this month. So like I said, I've been busy trying to smash those paper pads and use up all of my Christmas paper. So to begin with, I'll just show you, I had a couple of sheets of paper that I really wasn't sure what to do with. And so I just cut out little different styles of envelopes. Like this one, for instance, it said December 2012 on the paper. And so I ended up cutting off the part that said December 2012 and just making some little envelopes. And these do fit gift cards, so I could still decorate and add a couple little cutouts and decorate these up and use them as gift cards. Holders. There's another envelope. This one had a bunch of random numbers on them. These also would work in junk journals too. And I just used various cutting dies for these ones. So I made quite a few of those. And I tried to be somewhat strategic on where I placed my die so that at least it looked somewhat decent on the front of all of these. Then next I have a bunch of cards to share with you guys. So for the first set of cards I wanted to share with you guys, I made a bunch of these, and I had a paper pad. Let me see, I think I have it sitting here. This paper pad, this Auburn Lane paper pad, I had the wood grain in that one, so I pulled that out and used that to make Christmas cards. And I just went through my cardstock stash and I die cut the little wreaths and the bows out and the banner pieces and the Noels to add to those. So they're all very similar, just different. Some of them have a little bit different gold mirror paper on them, and this one's glossy gold, that one's mirror. And then I had the two different colors of green just based on what I had for scraps. So I made those cards. So the next set of cards I used that Be Merry die. I used this last month also, and I just had some of the paper scraps, and so I just started layering along with cardstock from my stash. So they all are all slightly different based on whatever cardstock I could find in my stash. And I also added a little bit of glitter to the die cut. And this one I changed the orientation to make it go this way. So the next set, again, I just kind of cut up paper and layered it. I think I made a couple styles this way for paper layering. And just use some different stuff in my stash. And all of them I did stamp a quick sentiment on the inside. So that one was very similar to that first one I showed you. I did do a little bit of stamping. This was an older stamp I had in my stash. Kind of the same papers, but a little bit different layout as that previous one. And again, on the inside, I kind of use the same dies over and over again for stamping sentiments. I mean, I had this one that said, wishing you the gift of faith, the blessing of hope, and the peace of his love this at Christmas and always Merry Christmas. And then I had that jolly one. Yeah, 'tis the season to be jolly. So I had that. So I'm not going to open up all the cards. And then in a lot of them, I did go ahead and add just the paper scraps, or if I had thin border pieces, I put them either on the left hand or the right hand side of the cards just to use up the paper scraps. So I had that set of cards I made. Then I had this one. And I might have made a couple like this. Did that. And then I made this one, the North Pole Express. I had some more of those Be Merry ones that I showed you earlier on. Just very similar, just different scrapbooking paper and cardstock. So the next set, I really love how these ones turned out. And these ones I use some gold mirror paper in my stash along with paper from the paper pads I was trying to use up. And then I also die cut poinsettias out and added a little element of flat back pearl in the middle, and also cut out words. I think the words I used were Noel or joy on these ones. So in total, I had 32 cards that I created. Then the last items that I created were just some little 3x3 or 4x4 cards, just using up some of the craft cardstock I had in my stash, and then the bits and pieces that were left over from creating all the cards I had. And so I'll just start first with the 4x4s that I created. And the rest are all 3x3, and the majority of them I did decorate. I have a couple that I left blank on the front of them because I thought I might be able to use them in journals or for another purpose besides Christmas. So I do have a few that I didn't decorate the fronts, but just put on a square piece of the scrap paper I was trying to use up. So a lot of these are all the paper pads I was trying to use up. A few of them I did pull out some stickers and some other things from my stash left over from previous years at Christmas time, just to use up bits and pieces. And of course added a lot of flat back pearls. I didn't do anything on the insides of these because I could very easily stamp like to from and use them as gift tags on packages, or I could send them as a little, you know, thank you card or something like that. So I didn't do any stamping on the insides of any of these yet. So here's one where I added a sticker to the front that kind of matched the paper. And this little project actually went together quite fast because what I ended up doing was cutting all of the craft cardstock for the bases, and then I went ahead and cut as many squares as I could that would fit onto these 3x3s. I just made them slightly smaller, so they're probably like 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I just started layering on pieces on top of that with the scraps that I had. So these actually went pretty fast. Here was another little chipboard piece I had of a Santa Claus that I went ahead and added on top. And then the Jingle All the Way, I think, was also a sticker. And there's a chipboard sticker added to that one. And let's see, I still have more. So some of them might look similar to the ones I already showed you. This one also has chipboard stickers on it. Same with that one. I had some some of these chipboard stickers I'd picked up a long time ago at Tuesday morning. And like I said, they kind of, this one has a chipboard sticker too. They kind of match some of the paper collections, so I just was trying to use them up. That one's a chipboard sticker also, and same with that one. And so the last little pile. So this was one that I left blank because I thought this one I could easily add into a junk journal, and I could add a little like vintage photo or something, because this one just had a nice vintage feel, and it didn't, this paper didn't necessarily scream Christmas, so I left that one blank. Another Christmas package. And this was a die cut. This top piece on this one didn't come from, it was a die cut I had left over from a previous Christmas from projects. So another blank one. Another blank one. And this Joy to the World on this one was left over last year. I think I made a whole bunch of penguin cards, and I used this Joy to the World, which I cut out of another scrapbooking paper, and I still had that left from last year. So that one kind of matched. So I added that to the card. And then the last one. So I did end up with a total of 46 of these cards, the 3x3s, and there was 1, 2, 6 of the 4x4s. And the envelopes, 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 11 of those. I also cut out some more pieces, which I've showed these to you guys in the past before. I cut out little banner pieces and pieces I can add words to just out of the scraps as I'm die cutting or cutting up my other pieces. So I do have some of those started with my small scraps that I wasn't sure what else to do with. So next I wanted to show you guys what I had left from my paper pads. So I do have a small pile of scraps. And in one of the paper pads, they had all the little cutouts, and I used a lot of them on those 3x3 and 4x4 cards, but there were still some left. And the ones I have left I thought would work really good in a future Christmas junk journal, like this one says Christmas Memories. So, or you can maybe use them in a scrapbook page too. So I'm not going to do anything else with these this year. Next year I will most likely make a December daily, so these will probably be added to that. Then I had a few more paper strips left like this, and a couple more strips like this one, which I thought would be neat to actually make a pocket into a junk journal, where you just cut out this top part and then you could use it as a pocket. So I didn't do anything with that one. And I do have a couple more paper strips that I'm going to glue into the insides of some of the cards that I didn't get to before I started filming. So I do have a small pile of small scraps like this that I am going to use up. And like I said, they'll either end up inside the cards, or if I can use my die cuts to make some more banner pieces, I will with those. So I have that small pile left. And then I had a couple sheets left. Like this one has the numbers 1 through 12. And again, I'm just going to save these for a December daily, because you could do this December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And I'd have the first 12 numbers for that. So I kept that sheet because I wasn't sure what else to do with that one, other than maybe you could do like a 12 days of Christmas or something. And then I had these sheets left, and you can see I used some of the words, but not all of them. And I'll just save them for future projects at Christmas time when I do vintage ones. So I had those papers left. And I also believe this paper pad I have still in 12 by 12 sheets. And I still had a couple more punch outs left that didn't make it to the cards. I just ran out of the bigger papers to layer on cards to put these on top. So I'll hold those onto those for a future year for Christmas. And so again, I just wanted to go over the papers that I started with. So I had the 25 Days of Christmas by Simple Stories, and when I started I had 23 sheets in there, and so I've used most or all of them other than those scraps that I just showed you guys. This authentic paper, which is called 6x6 bundle, the collection's called Wonder, and I had 22 sheets that I used. This Cartabella one was a full paper pad. That one had 24 sheets and I used all of those. I had these two from Kaiser Craft called St. Nicholas. This one had 6 sheets. This one had 5. I used all of them. And then this one by Kaiser Craft was called Twig and Berry, and I started with 23 sheets. So I do have the Silver Bells collection, and I started with 12, and I made those 2 cards I showed you at the very beginning of the video. I do have a lot of paper scraps left in there, and then there are a lot of cutouts left. And I do have a couple sheets like these two, so I'm going to make a card with these for next month. I can make, this is pretty generic paper, it doesn't have to be Christmas, so I'll do something next month for that to share with you guys. And there's another Christmas sheet left in here, so I'll save that one for next year. I do have the 12 by 12 paper of this. I have a little bit of that left, so I'll just incorporate these scraps in with that. And I have a gray sheet of paper, and I'm not sure if I'll make something with this or not to share with you guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to incorporate it into my pile for next year for Christmas time. And I had this big sheet left. And just some more punch outs and little cut aparts. So I'm not going to, like I said, other than do something with those couple pink pieces, I'm not going to do anything with this one now for the rest of the year. So I'm just going to put this away. So I used a lot of it, but not all of that one. And then again, I was also working from this Auburn Lane paper pad, and I made those little mini albums, those small albums, and I made 2 of them, so most of the paper got used for that. And I used a couple sheets on Christmas paper. So now I'm just down to a few sheets left of this one. So 1, 2, 3. So I have 14 full sheets left of that one. So I will use this pad up for next month. I did want to thank everybody for watching, and hopefully you were inspired by a few of my projects on how to use up your paper pads. If you have any questions about specific die cuts or stamps I use, make sure you ask them below. I didn't have the time to grab out all my supplies that I use to share with you guys. So if there is something specific that you are wondering, make sure you leave me a question in the comment section below. And again, next month we are going to be posting videos to finish up this year-long collab of smashing our small paper pads. I am going to, like I said, finish up 2 sheets from this paper pad, and then I'm just going to put it away until next year to finish working on that one. And I have all these scraps I'm just going to put away to use in a future junk journal. And I will finish up this paper pad in December next month that I'll share with you guys. Next month, since we normally post on the 25th and it falls on Christmas, we are planning on posting our videos on the 26th, so be looking for them on the 26th. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.